Okay, let's call the OpenJS Foundation board meeting for Friday, August 21st of 2020 to order. Brian.
Great, thank you very much. Welcome everybody. Up on the screen, we have the OpenJS Foundation board directory. There are a few new names on here. So I wonder if Robin would like to introduce them. Oh, I think Robin might be on mute.
Hey, this is Robin. Thanks. Super excited to welcome our new board members. We just concluded an election last month and excited to announce that our new silver director is Miles Borens, who's the open source program manager at GitHub. And for our new end user directive, we have Guillermo Hermedo, who is the senior platform engineer at Netflix. So welcome.
Thank you, Robin. Glad to be back.
Thank you, Robin. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, you're already old friends and have been active already in the foundation for a long time. So really excited that you're on the board. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
That's great.
All right, so our agenda for today. So we'll start off, we'll approve the meeting minutes from the last time the board met in public session. We can give some updates on the event, which we recently had, have some updates on certification, and then a CPC update, and then we have Rachel Romoff to give a marketing update. Does anybody have anything to add to the agenda?
I think we're good to go,
All right. Very good. So first up, I'm sorry, we have the meeting minutes approval, but we don't have a slide for it. So directors, we have the meeting minutes have been distributed to you from the last call. This was the one that was back in May. Do we have a motion to adopt the meeting minutes?
Yeah, motion to approve.
Thank you, Todd.
Seconded.
Do we have a second? Thank you, Michael. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Do we have any opposed? Do we have any abstains?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Miles and Guy. Okay, the motion carries. The meeting minutes are adopted. So let's move on. First off, event update on OpenJS World. Robin, would you like to take us through this?
Sure, and Rachel can support, but since we missed last month, I just wanted to give you all a quick update on OpenJS World. We're really, it was a scramble, honestly, to pull it all together at the last minute, but boy, we had lots of folks chipping in and participating. So like I said, our overall attendance rate was great. It was higher than expected, over 2,200 from 81 countries. And gosh, if you look at the attendance rate for a free event, it's pretty amazing, 85%. I think what we're hearing for virtual events, you expect 40 to 50% for folks who register and turn out. So, and I'm sure that was just all due to that great content we had. Just so you know, all of the content is on our YouTube channel, and Rachel and team has been blogging them as well and doing timestamps. So if there's something you're interested in seeing, you could skip to the parts you like. But again, really delighted with the results. I want to thank everybody who supported it.
Anybody have any questions for Robin on this?
No, just a great job by the staff, and really appreciate all the work that got put into going and doing it. I think the whole board admires the activity that it takes to do this. And, this is, frankly, great results compared to, some of our previous events. So very good. Thank you.
Yeah, it certainly was a fun event, the Collaborator Summit. We had some really good discussions.
Thanks, y'all.
Great. So let's move on to the next topic, certification. So Robin, back to you.
Yeah, hey, so I think our big news in certification most recently is that we launched the program in Chinese. So if you're a native Chinese speaker or if you're based in China, we have the exams for you. We're also rolling out a training program. We have the app one done. The services one will be done by the end of the summer. And what else? If you really kind of want to deep dive on how the certification came together and a little color behind that, I recently hosted an AMA with Dave Clements from NodeSource and Adrian Estrada from Nearform. Oh, actually, the other way around. Dave from Nearform and Adrian from NodeSource, and they were quite fun. You can find that on YouTube and hear more about their about how that program came together. That's it.
Great. Any questions for Robin on the certification exams? Okay, moving on. Let's go to the CPC update. So Michael, Chris, and Robin, let's take us through this.
I can jump in on this one. The only thing that came to mind is Fastify is nearing graduation, so they've got their charter up for approval and worked through the checklist items. So they have a pull request asking to be graduated to a growth project.
I think since we missed last month too, the other project that joined as incubation is worth mentioning, right?
Yeah, we did. I think, are you talking about
AJV.
AJV?
Yeah,
We
right.
mentioned,
AJ, yeah.
I think we mentioned that last month, but in the July meeting. But yeah, AJV is an incubation project as well.
Any questions on this? Okay. Next up, we have a few things that have come up to the board recently for approval. One of these is, two of these have already been approved, and one of them is in process. Michael or Chris, would you like to take us through these?
Sure. I mean, we made some changes to the definitions of the board seats. And one of the key things to call out is just that in the first year of the foundation, as a part of the transition process, the second director seat was assigned to the Node project to elect a representative. And in this update, it's changed to represent all of the projects. So nominees can be from any of the active projects. And it's worth mentioning that the vote is currently underway. Closing today, I believe. We have 5 great candidates, and that should be announced, I think, in the next week or so afterwards. The next one is a very small change that's related to the concept of a Commons.js program that we had when the foundation was coming together, but we haven't had a champion or move that forward, so it was removed from the charter itself. Not to say that that idea couldn't be revised at some point if we find a champion or as a group start to move it forward, but for today, this kind of reflects the reality. And then the last one is Collaboration Network, which we've probably mentioned in the past. You can go check out the pull request there, but it's one that I've submitted to provide sort of a different way for groups to come and work under the auspices of the foundation, as opposed to projects. So, projects bring their code and it's focused on, a project that's delivering some sort of product or source code. This is, for groups to come together and collaborate on a particular area of interest. And, the result could simply be documents or shared knowledge or whatever makes sense. So that's working its way through the process. There are a few suggestions, and we're working on one last thing before it can land.
Any questions on this? Okay, we will move forward here. Michael, do you want to talk any more about Collaboration Network? We have a couple of slides with detail on this.
I think, I've given the high level overview of what it is. My call to action would be that, if there's people out there who are excited and want to lead an effort to bring, groups across the JavaScript ecosystem together to a good place, a neutral place under the foundation to discuss or try and move forward topics which are of importance to the ecosystem. This is a great place. Reach out to me. I can help you understand what the program is, how to get involved, how to make a proposal. So I think that's probably about all I need to say on that front.
Great. Okay, moving on to the last slide in the CPC update. Just some notes on ongoing work. Would somebody like to take us through this?
Sure, just wanted to mention Electron appointed their voting CPC members, so that's great. We welcome, 2 new great people contributing to the overall work of the CPC. The community board elections are open, which I mentioned earlier. We have a security reporting process proposal nearing completion. And there's very active work going on and discussions on the individual supporter program proposal. I think since this was probably last mentioned, this used to be the individual membership program, but through the discussions, it's been moved to be titled supporter program, which I think is a good change in terms of the kind of people we're hoping to come in as people who are interested in supporting the projects that are part of the OpenJS Foundation. And I know that the team who are looking and working on that are coming up with some new and interesting ideas. So if you have an interest in that, again, that's something that would be good to get involved in. Any questions?
In general, it's been really nice to see, having been involved in this process since we started forming this, to see the CPC going through and making some revisions based upon some things which were, aspirational at the time and which were, quite frankly, in many cases, just assumptions as to how things would play out. The CPC has been very diligent about going back and reviewing their scope and making sure that the CPC as it is today is reflected in the CPC charter. That's been really good to see.
Seriously, the hardest group of volunteers I've worked with. and fun, I should say. Yep.
Yeah, no, it's a really great group of people that we have working together.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to our next topic, which is the marketing update. On the call, we have Rachel Romoff, who is the marketing lead for the foundation. Rachel, would you like to take us through?
Of course. So this month, we're going to do it a little bit different because we didn't have a chance to go through metrics from last month. So we're going to go through last month and this month just so that we can get fully up to date. We'll start with our blog metrics. We did really well in June with the event. And then on the left-hand side, you'll see a lot of our keynote series that we published from the event. So that was, I like to call it the gift that keeps on giving. So much wonderful content from the event that we were able to turn into a great blog series, time-stamped for each individual topic so people could really dive in. We can go to the next slide and look at this month's metrics. So as of August 18th, we were pretty well along in our viewership on our blog, so that's great to see. And we continue to publish great content from the OpenJS World Keynote Series. So we have a really great pipeline. I want to just stop and take a minute and say that we're really doubling down on case studies from now to the end of the year. We have some great ones in the pipeline, and we're really excited to share those with everybody. And if you know of any great examples of case studies that we could be writing about, please reach out. We'd be happy to work with you. So we can go to the next slide if there are no questions. Great, so this is website metrics from last month. And you will see that, we saw a nice increase from the event, which sustained throughout the month, which is great to see. Our referral traffic, again, is our top channel for, getting traffic to our site, with Node.js, being the the top there. But in addition to Node, it's also awesome to see projects like AMP, working its way into that top 10 list. So, we're getting some other traffic from our projects. We're also working on ways to track how we refer traffic to our projects. That's a little bit more in depth, but that's a project that we're working on too, just to kind of see how we can provide value back to projects as well. So we can go to the next slide if there are no questions on this info. Great. So we did see a little dip this month, which I think is to be expected. Late summer. Also, we just had a banner month last month with the event. I did want to draw attention to referring pages. Again, Node definitely leads on referral traffic, but we're also seeing both AMP and Express in those top 10. So again, just more diversity in how folks are finding us. It's always good to see. Oh, and Electron, number 3 right there. How could I miss it? So again, really, good to see that, people are finding us through those channels. Any questions on this?
I guess the only question is there anything that we should be looking for ways to improve our SEO on?
That's a good question, and I can come back next month with a better answer than what I have right now. So at this point, I'm not quite sure, but we can certainly look into that in our in the metrics that we have available and come up with some recommendations.
That'd be great, and then we can figure out where we want to go.
Sure.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So this is Twitter from the month of June and July, and it does represent the traffic spikes that we saw from the event, which is super great to see. I don't think we've ever hit over 2 million, even from the event in December. So awesome to see. Lots of engagement. Huge engagement spike over the course of the event, up 61%. And our sentiment was, was super positive as well. I did keep with the trend of pulling out not miscategorized and miscategorized for sentiment, so you can kind of see some of the things that that were considered negative in the algorithm. We did go through and update all of that stuff, but that's always interesting to see. Any questions on this? Great. If not, we can move to this month's Twitter. So we did see a dip, which can be expected in both engagement and just overall impressions. Again, we can chalk that up to just having such a great month last month, and then just kind of returning back to, pre-event normal, pre-event norms. Also time of year. But I did want to point out our sentiment was super high this month. So that was really great to see. I want to say that's just, we had AJV come on board and just, some good engagement there. We also did we're helping the Node.js TSC with a survey. And so we had some good engagement there that was miscategorized for some reason, probably, unhandled promises. They kind of take those words and put them into an algorithm and just think they're negative. So we did see some more miscategorized stuff that we were able to go in and fix manually. Any questions on this slide?
So in the comments there about the proctor not showing up on the test, hopefully that's also something we passed on to.
Absolutely.
We did.
Yeah.
The Proctor vendor has been overwhelmed with COVID, with the number of people using their summer to take exams. So it was an experience, I think, for a few Linux Foundation projects. So we definitely have been following up and following through on that with the person who was affected, and then with the vendor as well.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions on this slide? If not, we can move to the next slide. So here we have LinkedIn for the month of, for last month. We continue to gain traction with followers, 100% positive sentiment. Our engagement, numbers are pretty good. I would love to get us to 1,000 followers. So if you have not followed us yet, please do. That would be a great milestone. Any questions on LinkedIn? And if not, we can go to the next slide, which is also LinkedIn. So to be expected, we did see a little bit of an engagement dip, but we surpassed 800 followers, which is great. I think last month was around 750. So we continue to get followers, which is good traction to see, and we will continue to work on increasing those follower counts. Any questions on this month's LinkedIn numbers? If not, we could go to YouTube. So this was an amazing month, obviously, because we had a lot of replays from OpenJS World. These were the top 5 videos. I don't think we've shared this before, but we thought it was just really interesting to kind of see what kind of content people were interested in learning about. So these are our top 5 for last month. And we can continue to kind of showcase what folks are clicking on. And as we do more AMAs and as we do more video case studies, we hope to kind of just diversify that content outside of just, meetings. So just continuing to get some great views over on YouTube. We also had a huge amount of subscriber increase, which was awesome to see. Any questions on what we're seeing here?
Oh, it's really good.
I was happy with it. The next slide will go to this month, which again, we're down. However, I think it's to be expected. If we go and see what we were doing pre-event, these numbers are still way up. So even though like month over month, it looks like we took a big decrease, we're still gaining. I think previously maybe we were getting, upwards of 15 subscribers per month. Last month we got 95. So all in all, still a win. Fastify and Deno holding on tight. Those at those top spots. So cool to kind of just see again, the OpenJS World content is still being viewed. It's still super helpful as people are watching this stuff. So any questions on YouTube and what we're seeing here? Great. I think, yep, that's our last slide. So I don't know if there are any other questions generally for marketing. Happy to answer those.
Any questions?
No, I just want to thank Rachel. Building out that the video and digital component has been really great, and to be able to cross-populate, and also doing some of this digital and video content with our project maintainers and collaborators has been kind of an easier lift on content production as well. So it's just been great to see that steady content stream.
Absolutely.
So I think that sums it
Okay,
up.
well,
We covered a lot. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I think we've come to the end of the agenda then. Again, thank you to all the staff for the excellent work. I think the foundation's in good shape. And certainly our events have done well. So everybody should be proud. And let's keep it up. And we'll be back together again soon. So with that, I think we should call to close the August 21st, 2020 meeting of the OpenJS Foundation Board. Thank you.
thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you.